StoryLine. I am Nick Eatman. Thursday, June the 6th, and this is the wrap. This is the final show of the off season for StoryLine and also for all of the podcasts. I say it for the season. I mean, yes, it's a nice break, but it's not like it's forever. It's still next month is July, and we'll be a training camp in Oxnard, and that's when things will start up again. So, what is that? 6-7 weeks. Which is needed for us. I know Chris Beam, for the one that does all the podcasts. I mean, nice little break for him and get a chance to recharge the batteries. And, there's just not a ton going on. But, that's why these shows, this show in particular, still works because, there's the fans that always have things to say and questions to ask and do our best to try to answer them. But, I'm gonna miss talking with you guys for a little bit, but we'll get it going and we'll have some new things for you. And this year, still working on a time for Oxnard, but we'll definitely get after it here sooner than later. So, but let's have a good show here. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. You can text us 817-290-3298. We'll start with the phone calls. We got Michael. He's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Michael, what's up?
Man, I tell you what,
All right.
you make being a Cowboys fan more difficult.
Explain.
Well, I used to, when the Super Bowl was over, I'd be like, all right, when's the draft? All right, get the draft, get the players, think about that. All right, when's preseason? All right, now the regular season. Now it's a year-long thing since I've been listening to this show and calling in and stuff. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do the next 6 weeks.
All right. I was thinking, because I've known you as a caller here, I was thinking there's got to be more to it than this, because I expect people to talk smack, but not you. So I was like, when you said that, I was like, there's gonna be this is a there's backhanded compliments. This was a backhanded negative comment there. All right, good. Sorry,
well,
I guess, but
no, I'm just messing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of good Larry Allen stories over the last few days, listening to the different, shows, and that's been, it's sad to wait for the reason, but, still had a lot of stories. And I only had one question for you. What do you think, Zack Martin, it seems like this might be his last year. I mean, he's building that gigantic house up here in Indiana, and I mean, no contract. I mean, you think they're going to be prepared for that? You think they'll be all right?
Two different questions. Are they going to be prepared for that? Probably prepared. Are they going to be all right? No. I mean, you can't lose a 10-time Pro Bowler or whatever he is, 9-time Pro Bowler, and just be all right with it, especially when you have holes on the other side of it. So, do they know it could come, this year or next year? Yeah, they have to know that, and Zach said it this week. He said that, and I know that's what you're referencing because he made a comment that he's not saying he's done. But he's looking at the writing on the wall and say, all right, this could be the time, and he doesn't have a contract after next year, and it could be a tough season next season. I mean, if there's a year to have a break, maybe that's the time to do it. So, I don't think Zach's not saying he's retiring. This isn't a swan song type season for him, but he's. I think he's looking at it as like, it's definitely coming to an end sooner than later, and it could be next year.
Yeah, so losing the left tackle after, I mean, he was here since he was like 19 years old, and now he's gone, and Tyron.
Yeah,
and then maybe the next year losing, Zack. That would be a blow.
It would be, but how do you offset that? You offset that by drafting a left tackle who's young And you hope that he could develop into that. He's a young player as well, and Tyler Guyton. And then you draft a guy that you really like there in the third round of BB, who can, is really smart. He can pick things up. He has a chance to win the starting center job this year, and he could probably play guard if you needed to next year. I mean, if Hoffman is really good, if Hoffman doesn't let him win it, then BB's like, all right, well, maybe BB's a guard, and maybe he's a guard next year, So there's options here. I think they've done the best they can to say, all right, we've lost the left tackle, we lost our center, we might lose our guard next year. Let's draft. They drafted 3 linemen this last draft, and doing the best they can to offset that if that does happen.
All right, well, hey,
all right.
You have a good break, and
you too, Michael.
I'll be listening, looking for you in July.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Michael. All right, let's keep it rolling. Anthony in Miami.
My guy Nick, what's up, baby? Nick's quick.
What is up?
Hey, man, we go. Hey, down in Miami, getting ready to get them choppers taken care of and cleaned up real quick. So I got a little time to holler at you.
All right.
I thought that would be my last call last week. It was out in and out, but let's go ahead and honor 2 fallen Cowboys. One that fell this week, the great Larry Allen. To Mr. Allen's family, I send my heartfelt condolences on that. And there was a Cowboy. Of course, I knew a couple of Cowboys in the 90s from Miami. I was friends with one, and his anniversary will be in 4 days. He died in 2011. His name was Godfrey Miles. Great Cowboys linebacker of the 90s. So to those 2 guys. Now let's honor 2 shows, my 2 shows, Hanging with the Boys and StoryLine. As I told you last week, Nick, sometimes you sit back and you listen and you get the feel for people. You watch the shows on TV. You watch how you do your thing, drink your water, and you watch how you laugh at the people. And then you listen. As a fan, I listen to the people. Their ideas, the humor I get from all the characters we have on the show. And I thank you guys for those 2 shows. So I thank Mr. Jones. I thank Derek for us interacting with the shows like we do, because we don't have a voice. So we get a chance to voice our opinions, whether good, bad, or indifferent, whether funny, whether just straight up agitating. We all get to do that. So I thank you guys. And Bean, love you. Thank you guys. Talk to you guys in training camp, man.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for the call. And that's something that you couldn't have said last time. I'll talk to you guys in training camp. I think you will. I think you'll be able to do that. It's a difference from last year to this year. We're working on phone lines there, not just 1 but 2 lines, which is really important. I'm not going to say it's set in stone, but I know that Chris and his team is working on that, and it looks promising right now. So that's good. Good to know for sure. So we're still, last year was different. I'll just tell you, it was obviously our first year. We're trying to figure out how to do it. And, we didn't have any callers. So we just took a lot of text messages, and we took, the text line. Then we would get a player in there. We were piecing it together. We were taping it here. That's why it probably looked different. I had sun on me in the morning, and then it was a different show. I think we're going to do it early in the morning out in California. Which would be regular time, here in the mid-morning, back Dallas and the East Coast. So I'm still hoping to get some players on as well. If we can get that, we get phone lines, we can get a full hour show and players, we'll be cooking with grease right there. All right, let's go Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma. Lewis.
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing?
Not much. First off, I meant to tell Chris, don't never put me behind Rob again. I can never follow his energy. I don't know where he comes. I'm 35. He said he's 50 something. I can't keep up with the man. Secondly, I need to figure out how to get on the Cowboys talking. What is it? The talking StoryLine Twitter account with the group. I need to be in there with you guys. So when somebody let me know how to get in there with them. And then third, not really. I just was calling really just, what's his name? The Micah Parsons conversation, which I don't, honestly, I'm not mad about Micah Parsons and what he said. I think the way it came out, I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But I honestly, from hearing it from various other players that Mike Zimmer doesn't do a whole bunch of talking, I'm not surprised that him and Micah Parsons hasn't had a whole bunch of conversation, especially with him flying around the world.
Yeah, I mean, that seems weird. He doesn't do a lot of talking. Maybe not on the phone,
Right.
I guarantee you Zimmer's been doing a lot of talking here, and Micah hasn't heard it because he hasn't been here. I thought that was kind of funny too. It's like, I bet you if you're here in his office, I bet he'll do a lot of talking. But
right, you probably hear a lot more.
Hey, they're gonna talk. That's fine. He missed some voluntary things. He's here for the mandatory things. He'll be at training camp. Micah, go get the quarterback. I mean,
that's it. I don't know where I'm gonna put you at, but wherever I put you, go get the
quarterback. There might be a play we're gonna run. They're gonna run. You're gonna go sideline to sideline, hold your gap. Hold the edge, all that stuff. But for the most part, go get the quarterback. This is the scheme. And the thing is Zimmer has got to be building the scheme around Micah. So it's going to tailor to his to his skills. And if not, then they hired the wrong guy. And I love Zim, and I don't believe that they did hire the wrong guy. But I'm saying if they brought in a coordinator that says, Montel Jordan, and says, this is how we do it, and I'm doing it like this, and sorry, Micah's just going to have to deal with it. No, wrong guy. You do this around Micah, and I think that he will, and I think that's why it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Let me ask you, Lewis, what were you talking about just now? You said you wanted to be on what? You lost me.
What's the young lady name that called in every day?
Irene?
I call her the mama. Yeah, I call Irene the mama of the StoryLine.
Yeah,
she calls me. She's fantastic.
Well, she just Chris might be able to help here. She just actually created something today, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the StoryLine community on, I guess it's on Twitter, X Twitter, and so it's, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but but that's it. That's what she's created, the community. So so hopefully we just keep adding to that, and that'll actually be good for me if we can build this thing, because when I have to change the showtime or whatever, I'm going straight to that right there.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we need callers. I had to move it to an hour later, an hour up. I need callers. If I can get 5 or 6 of you to call, we got a good show.
I reposted it on my Twitter account, so if anybody wants to look for it, Nick could probably do the same too.
I'll repost it on mine and the StoryLine account too, and we'll get that going. That's awesome. That's you can't ask for anything better than that. Like that right there, that's exactly what we want this to be. We could only go once a day during the season, once or twice a week during the season, but you guys can talk to each other amongst each other, all the time. So all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Lewis.
All right now. Thank you. It easy. See you. Talk to you in August.
July.
If y'all get your phone lines together.
We'll get it in
I'm
July.
trying to get there.
And Lewis, if I know you at all, you might just drive up to California. You might. Who knows?
You know what? I listen. I talked my wife into Dallas, California.
Yeah, that's true. Let's take it one step at a time. From Oklahoma to Dallas for a game. Yeah, driving the Route 66 or whatever over to maybe a little different story. That's for another time. All right, sounds good.
Take it easy.
All right, thank you. All right, good stuff. Somebody. I was talking to my dad a couple days ago. He listens to the show, Dr. Sunshine. He listens to the show all the time, and he said something that was interesting. He said, you have your callers are not only very knowledgeable, but they're just good people. They're you can tell, they're just genuinely good people, and he's right about that. It's not something you think about all the time, but for a whole year of a show that we've done, and what we suffered probably the most frustrating loss in a long time. I mean, the season has ended with a loss before. It's happened every year, but not to that fashion. Not where you're expecting you probably will win and blow them out, and then you get blown out before the second quarter is even over. Like that was a crushing blow. We dealt through that. We dealt through a whole year of some weird stuff, weird injuries and all that. To have this season, first year to do the show, and for the most part, no issues really. Nothing crazy. You had some frustrating callers, but nothing too bad, And the ones that it was a little dicey, they keep calling, and they're among the best callers we've got. So credit to you guys. You guys have made this show a lot of fun. All right, let's keep it rolling, though. We got another one that calls a lot. Travis in San Antonio. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you excited for the break? Not the show, but the actual break you're going to go on.
Yes and no. I mean, honestly, I love doing the show. Guys, I really do. I love doing it. Just like I just said, talking to you guys has been fun. You guys have helped me change some of my perspective a little bit, opened up my mind on some things. Maybe I've done the same to you guys, who knows? But
for sure,
it's been fun. It's been fun. So yeah, always good to get a break and here and there. And more than anything, I say this because Chris is my friend. I'm excited for him to get a little bit of time, because this, what you see from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, but there's so much back end stuff that's got to be done, and a lot of hard work, and he does it for this show and then all the shows. So when I think of it from that, the break is, this break that we have is needed, and but we'll all be chomping at the bit to get back to it at training camp for sure.
Yeah, I used the same joke with him earlier when I called and I was on hold. I said, "Are you ready for the break? Not the break the show, but to have a little break." And he said he's got some stuff going, but it'll be a good reset for everybody. Everybody can come up with some, on our end, can come up with some new stuff for you and have some good calls and enjoy. When we get back, it's training camp time, and that'll be fun too. So
yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to call. I know I was the one that put out the challenge to make sure all the all-teamers call in, and I heard Irene. I couldn't call in on Tuesday. I had some work stuff, but I like the accountability, because I kind of chuckled as soon as she said that, because I was like, I know. I was like, I'll make sure I get in on Thursday. So I'm here. I just wanted to again, even though it's Thursday, put out my condolences to Larry Allen and his family as well.
Sure.
That was a rough one, and I want to put out. We always talk about the triplets, Nick. It's always triplets. Well, I've always sort of considered them the quadruplets, and I don't think that those three are the triplets if you don't have 73 with them. So I'm kind of unofficially. I'm not dropping the triplets as a thing, but I always kind of consider them the quadruplets, and I've got 73 on there whenever I think of 22, 8, and 88. So, and then I don't know if a lot of people have seen this, but if I was doing the same thing, going back, watching, all the stuff I could on Larry Allen after that happened, just, to kind of refresh things. And still one of the, if you haven't seen it, if people haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm not going to spoil it, but one of the best videos I've ever watched about someone talking about, because you like hearing other guys talk about him, like players that played against him. Mm-hmm. And it's not even the John Randall one. It was actually the funniest one I've heard talk about him, just how great he was the Justin Tuck interview that he had with Dan Le Batard on his show a while back. So I'm not going to spoil it, but if people want to go get a good laugh at just how great he was, go watch that. I'm sure you can find it, Justin Tuck, and talking about Larry Allen. But other than that, I wanted to see what you thought of one thing, and then I'll let you go, is, by the way, I saw a picture of Overshone. I know you were saying like he's bigger, but man, the picture I saw of him and John Stevens looks like David Irving as a tight end.
Yeah, that's up there. But yeah, for sure, he's he looks like a tight end now. I mean, he doesn't look like a receiver,
But he's so long.
Yeah. He could. Let's see what it looks like. That's the thing. We just hadn't seen him play in a game. So you can run around and go, oh, he's a tight end. Look how smooth he is. But we haven't seen him block a defensive end. So and if that happens, you won't be on the field if you can't even put up a fight. So now he's got some bulk to him. Maybe he can do that, but he also still needs to be a guy that can go and be a good pass catcher.
Well, that you just put me right into my segue of the question I had was, I'll see what you think. I think we're going to have maybe more the numbers on training camp whenever it gets down to, who makes the team, who doesn't. I think they're going to carry 4 tight ends, and I'll make the early prediction right now of it being Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker, John Stevens, and Brevin Spann-Ford, because I think Brevin Spann-Ford and Schoonmaker are going to be your guys that are they all can do the same things, but they're better blockers right now. Like that's kind of what they came in for. And then you have Ferguson and Stevens that are kind of more the receiving specialists. So I'm kind of curious what you think that third wide receiving role, I think, is also going to be a little bit like the running back role, kind of going to be like a by committee type of thing, because I think we're going to see more 12 personnel this year, utilizing, you have two kind of more so blockers and two more so receivers at tight end. So I'm curious to see how they utilize them, but I think they're all going to get some play.
Yep.
So I just want to see what you thought.
Yep, that's good thought. All right, thanks, Travis. Have a good break.
Have a good one.
You too. A lot of stuff in there to unpack. I'll say this: that the triplets, it just worked so well because they were just Irvin in 88, Aikman in 89, Emmett in 90. You got your receiver, got your running back, and your quarterback, and all that back to back to back. And then they just played all the way through the decade. And they were there for the first two Super Bowls, but Larry Allen didn't get there until 94. So it's harder to do that and to throw him in there. You can say, Charles Haley was a big part of that. I know Aikman has said that they don't win without Haley. Dion in 95 was big. Novacek was a part of all that too. And so, you had these great role players. And I know Larry Allen's not a role player because he's the greatest guard to ever play. But I've never really thought to change it from how you had it there because there just wasn't another player that was there that whole time that also was at that level. I mean, yeah, Novacek was there that whole time. So was Nate. So was Daryl Johnston, Haley, that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's just my perspective on it. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to be called one of the triplets or quadruplets or whatever to be a GOAT. Because he certainly was as a player. He was absolutely the greatest of all time, in my opinion, as a guard. And I made the case in an article just the other day. You can argue that he's the best Cowboy of all time. You could really make that case. So at tight ends, sure, 4 tight ends. I could see that. I could see it this year. It depends on what they're going to do at receiver, what they do at running back and fullback. It's sometimes they don't have a fullback and they have 4 guys. So maybe Lipke, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Who you didn't throw in there was Hendershot. Hendershot he's going to have an uphill battle though to stick around and make the team. So, but good problem to have, and that's exactly what Lunda Wells said the other day out in a press conference. He said, "I have a great problem to have. I got a lot of talent, can't keep them all. It'll be competing with each other. And the best part is that you have a number one. You didn't know you had that last year." You've got a guy now. Jake's the guy. He is the top dude there, and then everybody else is battling for it. So should be hungry. I mean, everyone should be hungry in their own way. Ferguson, can you be an elite tight end now? Schoonmaker, can you show that while you're a number 2 draft pick and be the number 2 guy and get on the field and be a little bit more of a pass catcher? All the other guys prove they can make the team. All right, let's go with Let me get a text question real quick here from this is Dan in Philly. He's a member of the All StoryLine squad. He said, "Last podcast, say it ain't so. Enjoy the time off. How am I supposed to get through the day? I can't help you there. Maybe watch old shows, old stuff. Watch some old documentaries. How about that? Some of our deep blues. Watch some of those. We'll have some out there. This is the time of year where we like to throw some of those out there for you guys to watch. So maybe watch one of those.
Compton to Canton is a good one.
Yeah, Compton to Canton that Chris Beam was a part of, and it's fitting right now, obviously, on Larry Allen and just his story from making it to the Hall of Fame from the mean streets of Compton in L.A. there. All right, let's go to Chris in San Angelo.
Hey, Mr. Nick, hope you're doing well today.
You too.
All right. I heard a dirty rumor that this was going to be the last show for a little while, so I figured I better call in and see how you're doing.
Yeah.
But I hope you enjoy your time off, spend some time with your daughter. I have one, too, and they're nothing like it.
Yep.
So,
I got a couple of them.
Do you? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and a son.
Double timing it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We got a crew. Got a crew,
well,
yeah.
The more the merrier, buddy.
Yeah, well, until you spend $62 at a drive-through somewhere, and you're like, what is going on? So yeah.
It happens.
It
yes.
happens, yeah.
My daughter never on the road has never seen a convenience store that she doesn't love. So.
There you go. Yep.
But anyway, as far as the Larry Allen thing goes, the other day I won't go into it too much. I probably saw that rundown play about six or seven times, and loved it every single time. It was the announcing on it was really funny. The way they was really good.
They made the call. They made the play what it is. I promise you, if that play was just on a noon game on a Sunday where Fox's third team or something,
yes,
it's not the same. Well, Dan Deerdorf makes that call.
Deerdorf makes it, and they recognize right away that a pass tipped at the line of scrimmage, lands in somebody's hands, and he runs was not what that play was all about.
Exactly.
So anyway, but I'll just go this strange. I remember last year we had this is about Royce Freeman. Mm-hmm. I'm asking about him. Last year I remember we signed Ronald Jones, and it almost seemed like the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, do you think it's going to be like that? Because I was like, Ronald Jones, I was kind of excited. And then it's like I had him on a fantasy team once, I think. And then when the season started, I was like, oh, where did he go? So I guess my question is an overall one about the running backs. I know they have a running back by committee thing going, but who do you think's going to be the lead dog in there?
Zeke.
Okay.
That's who I think will be the lead dog, because I think it works that way with what you're trying to do and trying to get in there and almost wear him down a little bit. I think it works better than the other way. Now, then again, if Rico Dowdle wants this to be the year where he just breaks through and he's the man, and you can't, and if any of those guys do that, then that's the case. But I know running backs are supposed to be, going downhill, and they are, but just look at them. That's what Will McClay said that. Look at the tape. Zeke still was very productive when he had the opportunity. So he just needs some help with him. He needs help.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, that's all I had for you, my friend.
Thanks, Chris.
Have a good one, buddy.
You too. Appreciate that.
Right.
Chris in San Angelo. All right. Good stuff. Let's go to a text question. Michael, he's from Maryland. How much faith do you have in Sam Williams to fill the void left at defensive end? He's talented, also penalty waiting to happen in limited action. All true. And that's what he's got to turn the corner there. He's got to figure out, and this is what, Randy Gregory had to figure out, or, and sometimes they never do. I mean, Donovan Wilson, guys that, that are reckless somewhat on the field, which can help you. They could make a huge play in the game. Sometimes they can have a penalty as well. And so you've got to find that balance, make sure I'm not getting penalties, but I'm also playing within the rules as much as I can and using this athleticism to my advantage without causing, getting a penalty or going over the line or whatever. So that's the key with him. You've seen, you say that limited time. Yes. Yeah, is definitely a lot of penalties there, but he also made plays too. Like he's got some sacks and some pressures. I know as a rookie, he led pressures per play. He led the, or per snap, I'm sorry. He led the team. So he's not just getting penalties, he's also making plays in limited time. So he's just got, if he can keep one at a higher level and lower the penalties, then he could be a really, really good player. All right, what do you got here, Beam? What are you telling me? I also have the Brad and Dale call of Larry Allen play versus New Orleans.
You want to hear it?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard it. I don't think I've ever heard Brad and Dale Hansen's call of this play. Now, are you going to show it here?
No, it's audio. It's audio only.
Okay. Do you have the audio of both?
I can find the audio of the other one, but I do not have it on hand.
All right.
This one's good, though.
I've never heard this.
This one's really good.
Now, Dale Hansen's a big guy, too, now. And the reason why I say that is I think Deerdorf's appreciation of linemen is why it was like, I've run down, linebackers
I think you're going to get that out of this one, too.
Okay, good. All I'm saying is I've heard the Monday Night Football call, and they are great. But Brad and Dale doing it, awesome. Let's hear it.
Here it is.
2nd and 9. Blitz is on. Aikman throws it out. Intercepted by Connor at the 30. Coming left to the 50. It was deflected. Connors to the 30. Chased by Larry Allen. And Larry Allen caught him down at the 17-yard line.
Larry Allen catches him.
Aikman's pass was blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Aikman was going as hard as he could. I don't know if Aikman would have gotten there or not. I didn't see any way possible for Larry Allen to get there. The ball was blocked at the line by Wayne Martin. Another one of those freaky Aikman interceptions. The ball's tipped up in the air. Connor picks it off, and Larry Allen, just great effort, runs him down, but not before he gets to the 15-yard line.
Dale Hansen on the call there. Dale and Brad were great. Babe Laufenberg now is with Brad. They do a great job as well. That's a great call. But I'm sorry. It doesn't compare to it. What's funny is that they said the exact same thing, if I remember correctly. What Dale Hansen said was just Larry Allen, and that's exactly what I think Dan Deerdorf and Frank Gifford say at the same time. So I think, Chris,
I'll find it for you.
He'll find that audio. That to me has made that call even better than what it was. Good stuff there. Before you do that, Chris, can we punch up Rob in Vegas?
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you going to make it to training camp?
I was just talking to Chris about that, and I said,
really?
I'm gonna come out. I've always said I like to go out to Oxnard. It's beautiful out there.
Sure is.
And I just never did, but now I have no excuse. I'm going to have my StoryLine shirt and come see you.
That's great. And if it doesn't work out, what about Vegas? We're going. Are you going to the game? The preseason?
Are the Cowboys playing in Vegas?
Yes. I can't believe you don't know this.
I swear I didn't know. Yeah, then definitely, because I haven't even been to the Raider Stadium yet.
Second preseason game, was it like August 16th, 15th, something
August
like that?
17th versus the Raiders. Versus the Raiders.
Yeah. I'll definitely be there.
I'm not allowed to tell people where the team hotel is, but I'll tell you, and whenever we figure it out. I'm going to sign up.
I'm going to sign up for Twitter now that I see that everybody's getting on it. I told you before I'm not on it, but I'm going to sign up when we hang up.
It's called X now. That's awesome. That's awesome. You didn't even know Twitter. Now it's just
didn't even know.
That is greatness. That's great. Usually when you get someone that like sends you something and they've signed up for Twitter like this month, it's a fake account. It's another one. What do they call those accounts? Where they're basically just making up stuff and it's just an extra person. I can't remember what that's called. Kevin Durant did it. But anyways, Chris, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, go ahead.
I watched that Compton Canton, and it made me sad because as great as Larry Allen was, I knew nothing about him. I never heard him speak with all those personalities back then. He was just kind of in the shadows. And when I finally watched that, I said, first, I didn't know he was from California. I didn't know, he seemed like a cool dude, shy but cool. And it being, 56, and he's, you say, wow, man, young man. But I thought it was great, and I totally agree with you. After thinking about it, I think he was the most dominant player at his position in the league. Him and Lawrence Taylor were men amongst boys. With that, we had great Cowboys, obviously Roger, but you always knew if you mentioned Roger, you mentioned somebody. If you mentioned Troy, what is John Elway, Joe Emmett, Barry, but you can never say Larry Allen and then say, well, who would you put over Larry Allen?
Nobody.
And I thought it was awesome. It's sad, but I thought that documentary was great. Getting to this team, I called in, and now that CD's up, we know what the number's going to be. It's going to be 35. I mean, to me, I think CD had a much better year than Jefferson did last year, and, let's face it, that's what everybody remembers. To me, this means you have to sign Dak Prescott. because you do not want to be like the Raiders and have a $30 million Davante Adams with nobody to throw. It's just a waste. I can't believe the Raiders did not trade Davante Adams. It's having a wide receiver like that is a luxury, but you don't build your team around the wide receiver. And to me, the Cowboys, if you're going to sign that check, then you better sign Dak too, because they have to go together. And I just think, looking at it, I don't see the Cowboys signing these three guys. Micah, CD, and Dak. I don't think they would be the three highest paid guys in the league. Dak may be a little behind, but CD would be probably number one. And Micah already come out and said, you better make me number one. And I think Micah would be the guy left out. Personally.
Yeah, maybe, but go ahead though.
And that's why I think this is a huge year for Micah. I mean, as much as we love Micah and we see the talent, he falls off at the end of the year. I think you said something where he doesn't get a sack in like December or something. And you say to yourself, wow, he hasn't done much in the playoffs. And he said it, I'm a smaller defensive lineman, and that's why I always said, well, why don't you gain some weight? Throw 20 pounds on your frame.
Right.
But to me, this is a big year. He knows he's up, and let's face it, you better have a monster year like a Nick Bosa did, and then say, okay, Nick Bosa got $34 million. He blew everybody away, but he had a great year. I think Micah has to do the same thing, or he may be left out after they sign CD and Dak.
Okay. All right. That's good perspective there. I'll touch on that here after the call. Rob, thanks again for all the calls, not just this one, all of them. If you make it to camp, that'll be great. Love to hear from you.
I'm definitely going to make it. Definitely going to make it. I'll reach out to you guys, and hopefully we could set something up where I get the Meaches. I think you'd have to go on the show.
I think you'll have to be on the show. I think you'd be on the show.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes captains get different privileges. So I think we got to put you on the show for that. If you make it out to training camp, I can't say that for everybody. I'd love to see you guys out there, and we'll figure out a way to get some people involved. That we have a couple of ideas there, but I think, Rob, if you make it out to there, I mean, we'll probably be putting you on the set. I think we can definitely do that.
I'll be there. I'll keep in touch, and we'll set something up.
Love to meet you. That's awesome. That's what's so cool. Thanks for the call, Rob. It's so cool about you guys. I mean, I know Anthony from Miami is going to be calling me Nick the Quick, and I've already got the Nick Van Exel, move that he does going on, and I just kind of have an idea what these guys are, but I've never met them. I've never met you guys. That's what's cool is that, and you haven't met me, but you feel like you know me. I feel like I know you guys, and that's what makes this thing cool. Going to what you said about Micah, and we've done the numbers here. He has 40 sacks in his career. Regular season games, 40, and 33 of them have occurred before the month of December. So in the final, month of December, and then some into January there. So we're looking at probably somewhere between 4 to 5, probably about 5 games each year. So that's about 15 games. You got 7 sacks, and so you in those 3 seasons there when it gets a little colder and maybe they throw the ball less, but still, that's not the same production rate of what we've seen before. So, right now, that is the narrative, that he's kind of wearing down there as the season goes on. And not just Micah, though. The team and the defense hasn't done as well there later. Some of the losses have built up more in those months. That happened last year as well. So you could say that about Micah. You can also say that about the team. And, teams watch tape and they figure out, it takes a little while, they figure out ways to kind of neutralize him. And you neutralize Micah or anybody's best player, you're gonna have them, have a little bit more success. All right, now we talked about this earlier. Chris had the audio of the Brad Sham and Dale Hansen call from the Larry Allen play, where he chased down the Saints linebacker. I just think it's hard to compare it with the original Monday Night Football broadcast, because that just kind of put it on another level. So, Chris, you have that audio? You found it?
Yeah, I do. Let me see if this works.
All right, we're gonna see if it works.
Maybe not. Let me see. Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Chris is gonna make it work because.
Under 5 minutes left in the half, and it's knocked in the air and picked off by Darian Connor. And Connor is inside the 40, the 30, and tackled at the 16-yard line.
Larry Allen. I can't believe that.
Give me a break. The rookie from Sonoma State.
This guy weighs 325 pounds.
Wayne Martin batted it. We think Darian Connor with the pick, and Allen saves the touchdown.
I can't get over that.
He runs down a very speedy linebacker. A little bit of an angle, but this is a huge man.
This guy's got a rocket booster strapped to his back. All right,
What is that?
Yeah. Well, if he kept it going, well, it's okay, but he talks about how he's flat-footed, and he ends it with, like, that is the most impressive play I've ever seen or something like that. But, yeah, those two guys at the same time just saying, Larry Allen, just seeing that. Poor Darian Connor, I don't know how many interceptions he had in his career, but, that was a huge play. This is the 94 Cowboys, the Saints. They're trying to win the game and upset the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. And, an interception there that doesn't get taken back to the house, and it's the Larry Allen play. Troy Aikman's is an interception, but it turned into the Larry Allen play. And and if I remember correctly, the Cowboys had 2 interceptions for touchdowns in that game. So they did have some pick sixes. It wasn't on the other. They didn't throw one because of Larry Allen saved the day, but they had 2 on their side of the ball. I'm pretty sure Tony Tolbert was one of them, and then I think Darren Smith, the linebacker from Miami back then, he both of them, I believe, had those. I know Tony Tolbert did. I want to say Darren Smith did it as well in that game. Yeah, that whole game's remembered for Larry Allen. Pretty awesome. All right. Well, this has definitely been a great show already. I'm not done, but I'm just saying it's a great show because we got our callers, the all StoryLine team calling in. Rob called in. Now we're going to Randy in Texarkana. Randy, what's up?
Man, I'm sitting out here on lunch break watching this old fella on a tractor drag his gravel parking lot ahead of me. And he's made about 3 laps, and his box blade ain't even touching the gravel. It's quite entertaining. I feel bad for him. I want to go over and tell him, look, dude, lower the blade, but I'm having too much fun.
Randy, hold on. Now, there's 2 types of people in the world. There's the type of person that gets out and says, hey, lower the blade. You're not doing it right. Can I help you? And then there's the type that sits there, gets on the phone, and calls to the world and just tells what this guy's doing wrong.
Well, see, I'm both of those guys because if I wasn't on the phone with you, I promise you I would be over there letting that guy know he's spinning his wheels. But because I'm on the phone with you, I'm just sitting here enjoying it.
What do you say, though? How does that go?
I just say, man, I don't know.
Partner, buddy, pal, fella, how do you start in this conversation?
I would just have to be blunt. Hey, drop the box, man. Just turn around, look behind you every once in a while. Something. I don't know. But golly, I've been sitting here just giggling. And I was trying to enjoy that Larry Allen story you were just telling, but I'm sitting here giggling at this guy too much. So.
That's funny.
Ooh, okay. Well, I don't have a whole lot today. I just want to touch base with y'all before you go on your break. So how many lines do you have there at the studio for us calling in on?
2.
Okay, so it's going to be about the same deal when you go to camp. All right, next question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, unless that doesn't happen, that's not a 100%. We're
working
on it. But Chris, I know you. You can be, and where do I always say you could work? If you're not doing this, where do I always say you would be working?
Kmart.
That's awesome. I work there. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. No, you'd be working in one of the pit crews at in
Daytona.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
You can figure it out in 12 seconds. Yeah. Done. Boom. Done.
I have to hand out my cell phone number. That'd be tough.
All right. So what's up, Randy? What else you got?
All right. So what are the chances you're going to get Darren Woodson on the show at camp?
Not good.
Because he's going to go to camp.
I thought he was always there. Seems like he goes quite a bit.
I think he goes when Jerry calls him and says, "Can you come up to training camp? I think I want to put you in the Ring of Honor. Can you come up here?"
That's about it. All right.
Well, when he was working at ESPN, he would come up there for sure. But no, not. If you saw him, like I see him, we see him not. Every once in a while, maybe once every couple weeks, and he's always running, always moving, always got clients, always doing something, kissing babies, all that stuff. He didn't have time for any of that stuff, so I definitely wouldn't think he'd be out at training camp. We can get him on here though when we come back to the season. And
man, I would be honored to be able to talk to the fella.
All right,
that's for sure.
We'll make it happen.
All right, and I need to talk to the photographer. I know. D Swaggy B and see what kind of connections he's got. Because after listening to what that was my lunch. It's over. Sorry. After listening to Ali and what he was able to offer, my offer is not that great. But I was going to say, hey, if you guys happen to be down around my part of the country over the next month, holler at me. We can do some grown-up time and let the kids stay over at the mama's house. But yeah, I just want to let y'all know to enjoy your summer break. Give all the critters plenty of water, keep them in the shades. You white pasty people, put on some sunscreen. And it's not the 80s no more, so the freaks definitely don't just come out at night. And we will see y'all at training camp.
All right, man. Thank you,
all right, brother.
Have a good
one.
Yep.
Y'all. All right, bye.
Go talk to the guy and go get the whatever it was, the tractor. Get that guy.
Put the blade down, please.
The blade down, please. I mean, you know what? I should go help him, but I'm on the phone, so I think I'm just going to share this guy's news with the world. And not that we're worldwide, but we are. I mean, we go across the pond every now and again. That's funny. All right, Randy's the best. There's no doubt. One of the best. Sorry, guys. One of the best. Yeah, when you have more than one kid, you can't just say that. You guys are great in your own way. But it's what's funny is that we talk about people that we've never met, But like, I went to college with like 4 guys like Randy. Like I know them. There's a guy named Cody. That's him. They're just from different parts of Texas. One's definitely on the west side of in Plainview, Texas. He's on the east side. He's actually in Arkansas, he says. But I know people like that. That's what's so funny. And like Rob, I know people like Rob. But it's cool. So I don't even know what these people look like, but we will. We'll figure that out here at some point. All right, Al in Merkel, Texas.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great myself. Hey, sad to hear about the passing of the Cowboys great. But listening to a show earlier, got some good insight on his, bringing up in California, Sonoma State, and Compton and everything. Larry Allen was just a beast, and it sounds like he was just he was just made to play football.
Yeah.
And second thing, I'm going to tie in some things here, where the world is a small place. You were talking about favorite football movies a while back, and I never could call in and remember about this movie, but there was a movie made about the Abilene High State football team. It was called Brothers Keeper, I think, originally, and then now I think it's called Under Stadium Lights. But the part that I want to bring up that it's brings the world closer is I don't have any children of my own, but I worked in recreation in Abilene for 20 years. I had a couple of kids that really, got close to me, and they both played football for Abilene High. One of them did not play in the state championship. I think they lost in the semifinals, I believe. But where I'm drawing it to the Cowboys is he actually played against Nate Newton's son, I think, in the quarterfinals, and they beat Dragons. I can't remember.
South Lake Girl, yeah.
Yeah, they actually beat South Lake, and it was kind of ironic because the reporters up there, and I can't think of who it was, but they were making a big deal about the median price for a house in Abilene, Texas, and the median price for a house in South Lake. So they were basically making it like a Samson and Goliath, or like Abilene had no chance. And it's just funny how things turn out, and Abilene High ended up beating them. But it was a good battle. I think they ended up playing South Lake again when they went to when they ended up winning the state championship. But that's my a long way to go to mention one of my favorite movies, and then also about the closeness of how it's the 6 degrees almost of knowing people.
Yeah.
And I'll say one more thing, and then I'll let you go. I know you're looking forward to your break, but you probably, out of everybody, you probably dislike it just a little bit, at least, because I know you live to talk about Cowboys football. But I know that you'll have fun, and maybe during the break, maybe we can get together and play some golf, because I have a feeling you're hilarious out on the golf course.
Wow, is that a really nice way to say like that? You suck at golf, like because what would be?
No.
Because
I thought you were going to take it that way. I thought you might take it that way, but the one thing I'll say is I think you're fun whether you're sucking out loud or whether you're playing your best round. I just think, just from your personality, I just think you just draw humor out of everything.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The thing is about golf. I'll say this. How much fun I'm having, there's a couple of things involved. Number one, how hot is it? Okay, how hot is it out there? Number two, what beverages are we drinking here? And, and I don't have to hit all of them straight because I won't. But do I hit a couple? Every now and again. If I 1, 2 suck, if the third hole, if I'm all right, then I'm okay. I'm feeling better. As long as you just give me a few, nice decent shots here and there, and I feel like I can 2-putt everything, which isn't always the case. But I feel like I could.
That's the beauty about golf, though. It will give you 1 or 2 holes to keep you coming back.
And
now, usually, 16 is going to kick you in the butt.
Yeah.
But it's going to give you 2, maybe 3 to keep you coming back.
And it's usually on 17 or 18 when you're just like, oh, my God, I got to get, I'm about to, I've already broke my putter. I threw my 4-iron into the water. And now, and then you hit this great shot, and you're like, all right, tee time next Thursday at 10. All right, cool.
I've got this figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think 95 or 96 is the best I've ever played at golf. I just don't play. Golf, here's the thing about golf. It challenges 4 things that I don't have a lot of. Number 1, time. Number 2, athletic ability. Number 3, patience. Number 4, I would say skill. I mean, did I say money?
I say money.
Money. You got to play a lot. So you got time, money, skill, and patience. Those things don't go well for me. That's why I probably never shot better than a 95. Oh, well. Good times. All right, Al.
All right.
Good.
Enjoy your break.
All right. See you later. Appreciate it. Good call. Good stuff. Al in Merkel, Texas. Let's go to Brian in Kansas City. Brian, what's up?
Nick, how are you, sir?
I'm outstanding. How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right. I don't know what I can offer you here in Kansas City. Some good barbecue and
I'm in. See you later. We'll be there in a second. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we got some good barbecue and we got the blues for sure.
Yeah.
So, but
got a football team that wins Super Bowl.
Yeah, no kidding.
About that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It's hard to be a Cowboys fan in a city that is this dominant right now.
You know what's funny? The Chiefs have had one heck of an offseason. Not all for good things.
Yeah.
This reminds me, though, in the 90s, the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, and then there would be guy have trouble here.
Yep.
And, let's not forget, and it's a tragic thing that the parade didn't go well, of course. And
right.
And, and then you got Rasheed Rice, and, and the kickers' comments and all kinds of stuff like that. It's been an interesting offseason for them. But when you win the Super Bowl, it's like I think you kind of deal with it. But not to put any light on the parade. I'm not saying that.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, we had, like you're saying, we had, Broadus used to say, I'm assuming he said it when he was a scout too, but as a media guy, he's like, yeah, give me the guy that just got out of jail yesterday, but is a great player. The guy with the 3 felonies, he's okay. Put him on the field. He can play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had a lot of guys that brought a lot of drama to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
For not good reasons.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and that's the team we had.
Yeah.
That's the team
definitely.
we had. And, we forgave them because they were good football players. And they did their jobs, and they did their jobs better than anybody else at the time.
Right. All right. Well,
I got two questions for you.
Okay.
So, question, and then I'll give you my old timer. So my one question is, after the goal line fumble, it seemed like the coaching staff kind of gave up on Hunter Lipke. So I'm just curious at what you see for him going forward, what you hear. You know, I don't know. You get to see some bits and pieces of practice, and you interview coaches and stuff. I was just surprised. Like, after that, it just seemed like they he kind of became an afterthought. And
yeah, I mean, there was 2 games. You know, I mean, and 2, and then the playoffs. So you're right. I mean, he didn't get any other opportunities. That was definitely a crushing blow. You know, they needed that play. And I think it's still a difference in the game. And he was making a difference there. And you know, just the confusion of I thought Dak was going to pull it, and you know, even McCarthy had said it's fullback dive. I mean, that's what the play was. It's that's the same call for 50 years of football. So there really shouldn't have been that miscommunication. But I'll say this about him: he's still here, still on the team, and don't forget, special teams is going to be different now with the kickoff. With what type of player you've got as a blocker, what type of player you have running down on kickoffs. You need bigger athletic guys. I think he fits the mold pretty good. So I think he has a good shot to make the team for sure. But yeah, they just got to build up trust. Preseason games should do that for him.
Yeah, I was just curious because we all had high hope for what we had seen, and then, you know, when that happened, it just seemed like, you know, he got kind of relegated to other duties, and we just didn't see him used the way we were seeing him be used in that game.
Right, for sure.
And then I'm going to throw you a screwball, and if you don't know the guy, we'll go to an easier one. Do you know of a guy, so he was kind of a background guy, he did start for a couple of years, Phil Pozderac from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, yeah, I'm going to throw that one out there and let you tell the story, and I'll get off. So if there's anybody else wants to try to get in, hey, man, enjoy your holiday, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I mean, Phil Pozderac has a story, and it's not a good one, because and it was in 1985, I believe, is the game. The Cowboys are playing the Giants in the Meadowlands, and so I'm like 9 years old. So maybe this story's been embellished over the years, but if memory serves, the Cowboys are trying to win the game. I think they lost like 17-14, or something like that. But so they're driving for the win here. They're driving in the Meadowlands, and they get like a big play. Like Dorsett goes for like 30 yards to the 10, and then there's holding 75. Can't block Lawrence Taylor. Of course, who could? But you know, okay. So now they're backed up, and then Doug Cosby for 25 yards, or Tony Hill, whatever. Great first down, holding 75. I think it happened 3 times on the same drive, and they just couldn't block him, and they kept going back, and then they ended up having a punt or whatever. They didn't win the game. They didn't even get a field goal attempt. That's the way I think of the story. I could go back and find the play-by-play, and maybe it's just one holding. I feel like there was 3 or 4. That's the Phil Pozderac story. I'm sorry. I know he played more years than that, but that's all I've really got for that, for Phil Pozderac. All right. One of the things I really should have thrown out earlier in the show, I wish I would have done this, but we talked about the Larry Allen play, and we did a top 10 list. It'll be on the Cowboys, on the Blitz, the TV show. We'll also probably peel it off into its own segment, but a top 10 plays in Cowboys history that were not touchdowns. And so, you know, a lot of the greatest moments of all time scored touchdowns, but there's 10 that I put on my own list that didn't make it. I should have thrown this out earlier, let you guys kind of chime in with one, but I'll tell you real quick. Larry Allen made it. That was kind of the that was kind of the reason we came up with the list in the first place. So that was the number 4 play on the list. But other ones that were on there, number 1, I put my favorite play of all time, Alvin Harper slant over the middle against the 49ers, gets down to the 9. Kind of just changed the whole game and really the dynasty for the Cowboys there. Bob Lilly sack in the Super Bowl 6, where he's chasing down Bob Greasy for 29 yards. Jason Witten's catch with no helmet. It was another one. Larry Brown's interceptions against Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. Ken Norton's tackle in the Super Bowl against the Bills is still one of my favorites as well. Emmett's record-breaking run. Marion Barber's 2-yard run. Tony Romo's 4-yard run where the ball goes over his head. D. Ware's sack against the Saints to win the game against Drew Brees. Those were the ones that made the list. So it was kind of fun coming up with that. I saw Jesse Hawley today in the hallway and had to tell him that his play down to the 1 didn't make it. And he was like, I didn't make it. But then when I explained the rest of the ones, I think he was okay with that. He was fine with the honorable mention. But, if he was just a little faster, he would have scored, and he wouldn't have been on the list anyways. But still, it was great. And he needed that. Hey, he needed to save Dan Bailey's job. And Dan Bailey making that 1-yard or that 21-yard field goal to win that game in overtime maybe helped save his job and helped his career. So, hey, look at Jesse's helping people out. All right, Jonathan in Fullerton, California. Jonathan.
Hey, Nick. Glad I made it on the last show before the break.
You're in. I don't know my geography at all. I don't know where Fullerton, California is compared to Oxnard. Is it close? Is it what? I don't know. Is it?
It's like 2-3 hours away. Me and my dad have been going every year for the past, as long as I can remember, actually.
You gonna be
and
there?
yeah, I was sorry. You gonna be there?
Yeah, I plan on being there. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to make it. What about you? You gonna make it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, my dad usually hooks it up with VIP tickets from a client of his, so hopefully I can see you there. Maybe I'll bring you an In-N-Out double-double. You can taste how amazing it is.
Well, I mean, I'll appreciate the burger. I would appreciate that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be number 1 on the list. But you know what? If someone's bringing me a burger that's not like 3 days old, I'll definitely consider it. It'd be good. But yeah. Awesome.
Great. I just had a quick question about, I feel like a lot of this Micah Parsons news is distracting from the lack of updates about Mozzie Smith. Have you heard any updates? Wait, how's he doing? Micah's going to, no matter his off-field stuff, he's going to do good, whether he angers us off the field or not. But Mozzie, he's still a concern since we haven't heard any updates. Have you heard anything about him yet?
I mean, he's still rehabbing some of his shoulder. Are still good. He's not going to be going at 100% there. But he's doing, from what I can tell, he's doing fine. I mean, defensive tackle is a very tough position to determine how they're doing in training camp, or even definitely in the OTAs and minicamp. So we'll be able to see when we get the pads on, the one-on-one drills and things like that, just how well he's doing. He's still trying to figure out his way, but this is a big season for him. He has to, and they need him. They need him to turn that corner and be that guy. And so, hopefully, like I said, Zimmer has a plan for what he's doing with Micah. I hope he's got a plan for what he's doing with Mozzie as well.
Yeah, definitely. One quick thing before I let you go. What's your confidence level in Diggs coming back from the injury this year? We had definitely some time that's needed to recover to be back to 100%. How you feel he's going to do?
I think he's going to be really good. I do. And it's a tough position to come back from that injury, the stopping, the cutting. I saw a play. Maybe I was supposed to see it. Maybe I wasn't, just looking outside the window at a beautiful day. But I saw a little bit of his rehab, and he had a play where he backpedals about 7 yards and then cuts forward like you would in a break. And I thought, well, if this is mid-May, I like where we are with Trayvon Diggs. Not doing a ton at training camp. Don't need him to do a ton. Just be out there, do some. Get the feel back. Be ready for that first game in Cleveland with Amari Cooper on the other side. I think he's going to be fine. I really believe that.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate the call. All right. This call was a little loud, so I had to turn it down. I was going to turn it back up, and then I realized we got Ali in Florida. Ali.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Keep it right here. I'm doing great. What's up?
I tell you, it breaks my heart. We cannot have a storyline to August, but you guys deserve a break. Shout out to you. Shout out to Chris. You guys work your tails off. I hope Derek buy you a nice present. Couple things.
I can hear Derek. I got a break. Go ahead.
Sorry. I got a breaking news for you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you heard it or not, but Jason Garrett is going to Redskins.
Going to what?
Jason Garrett is going to Washington Redskins or Commanders. Have you ever heard that?
I have not. This new?
Okay. So I'm rooting for Zeke.
Chris, what's going on here? Is this happening? I'll let Chris let me know if something like this is happening. I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you don't say nothing. So anyways, I'm rooting for Zeke. I personally think he's going to have a great year. I think it's going to be a morale boost for Dak. And he's going to help a lot of blitz pick up, and Dak would have a confidence to move around. So having said that, shout out to the whole entire storyline. And that's awesome, from Randy to Brian to Dylan to Irene to Rob, all of them, everybody. It's such a nice little community.
Yeah.
But makes me jealous because I'm not on Twitter or any social media because my job doesn't allow it. So, but I got to live with it. Time to time to call, but I wish you a best summer, buddy.
All right.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Well,
you're welcome.
In the middle, thanks for the call. In the middle of Brian's call 2 calls ago, it hit me. I was spaced out for a second. About 5 calls before that, when we were talking about fake Twitter accounts, and I couldn't think of what it was called. And then in the middle of Brian's call, it hit me, a burner account. That's what I was trying to think of. And it sounds like Ali might need one. You know, I mean, if you want to be on here, maybe you need a burner account. I don't know what job you have that doesn't like you to be on social media. I mean, I know you do some photography. I saw a picture the other day with a baby tiger. It's pretty awesome. But still, what he's referring to, if you just caught the end of the show, was that Irene in Virginia, who has not called today, but she did set up a StoryLine community on X Twitter, and the Cowboys Storyliners, and so it's got just a couple people in it right now, but we're trying to build that up. That'll be a lot of fun. You guys can talk with each other and really get to know each other from all over the country, all over the world. That's pretty awesome. That right there makes me happy about what we've done here this first season of the show. More than anything, just being able to do that's really cool. Okay. We'll keep an eye on what you said about Garrett in Washington and what that means and what that does. Not sure about that. But, all right, Tim in Winston-Salem.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
That's great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to start out by giving my condolences to the Allen family.
Sure.
I've always been a fan of the big fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys who do the dirty work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really surprised I made it in. I was about to give up. I said, well, let me give it one more shot, and I made it through.
You did.
You're still trying to make that all storyline team.
You're in a good spot right now.
Yeah. But going to miss you guys on your break, and looking forward to you guys coming back.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I'll be eagerly awaiting.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to make it in before you guys went on your break.
I love it. All right, Tim, appreciate that. We will hear from you next month in July when we get this thing rolling again. Thank you for the call, and that's what's really cool too. A lot of the callers, and it's June. I get it. There's not a ton going on, but just hey, I'm calling because I want to get in and call and don't have a lot to say and just want to throw out a couple things here and there. That's great. That's kind of what this show is all about. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this show. A couple of things I'd like to say. If you're in this area and in Dallas, and I haven't mentioned this before, and I probably wouldn't until we got closer to July 4th, but this is the last show. So I'll say this. If you're into sports cards, football cards, baseball, whatever, trading cards. I'll be actually at the Dallas Card Show at my own booth, our own table. Me and my dad, Dr. Sunshine, will be there. Well, we've been to shows before, but never on the other side of the table, never as a dealer, even though we won't really be considered dealers. But we've got cards to sell. We got stories to tell. Maybe I'm going to bring some books to sign, whatever. We'll be there 4 days, July 4th to July 7th. It's in Allen, Texas. It's called the Dallas Card Show. It's the second biggest card show in the nation behind a show in Chicago. They do this show like 5 times a year. So July 4th to July 7th. If you're in the area or going to be in Dallas, whatever, that weekend, I probably a shot in the dark for some of y'all that are listening, but just letting you know, I'm going to be putting on Twitter as well. But we'll be there. Come say hello. Come maybe buy some cards. I'll make some good deals. Tell some stories. It'll be a lot of fun. So I'll be there from July 4th to 7th in Allen, Texas. Also, Oxnard, as Jonathan said, are you going to go to Oxnard? It's the plan. It's the plan. Keep that thing rolling for another year. I'll be there. We'll all be there. We'll be doing our show from there, watching practice. If you're on the fence line, say hi. We'll come over. We can talk. And it should be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to seeing what this team has, and that'll be the time to do it. And also join the StoryLine community, the StoryLiners there that Irene put out on Twitter. Get a chance to, you guys can talk it through, especially in these next 6 weeks when we're going to be out. All right. What a great show. What a great ending. We're signing off here for a little bit on the Cowboys podcast. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next month at Cowboys Storyline from Oxnard. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. How about this, Cowboys?